Hello folks, welcome to BullDawg Barbecue. We got all kinds of stuff going on today. We're going to cook a beef tenderloin. It's about 4.5, almost 5 pounds. We're going to trim it up a little bit and then we're going to throw it out there on the smoker. You're not going to believe how this thing turns out. So let's get on with the show. We will turn me off and turn it on. Hey folks, welcome to the show. We're going to do a little cooking here. We're doing a review on the Pit Boss Pro Series, as well as cooking a brisket and a beef tenderloin today. Brisket is another video, and sorry about the camera. I'm going to explain, this was not meant to be filmed and showed. This was a spur of the minute thing and it's really choppy, but I hope you still get the gist of it. Okay, let's get back to the show. We'll be right back. Alright, here's what we're looking at. Pit Boss Pro Series. I think they call this thing the Copperhead. I've already filled it with water in the water tray down here. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 racks. We don't need all that. We're going to take 2 of these out of here. Up here at the top. We're going to fire this thing up. Push our start button. Let's prime it a little bit. And we're going to put it on smoke. This thing will take off on its own. So we'll be back in a minute. That's a good looking cut of meat there. We're going to trim it up a little bit. We try to get rid of most of the fat, lean it out, make it look halfway decent. When you buy these things, they come in a package, and you're supposed to cut that tail end that I'm trimming there off and make it even. And also the piece that you'll see down here at the bottom of the screen, there's a big chunk of meat there. Another one that you're supposed to cut off and, use for stir fry, or in my case, I think I'm going to use it for, well, this time we just diced it up and fried it, and it was amazing. But I think what I'm going to start doing when I do my beef stroganoff, instead of using stew meat or beef tips or riblets, I'm going to start using these. I'm going to keep them and freeze them and start cutting these into little chunks. They are so tender, and the seasoning that I put on here, which we'll explain in a little bit, is just fabulous. But this is a Josh product here. That's him in the foreground there. We're trying to get her trimmed up, and neither one of us have done this before, so we're just kind of winging it. And you can see I folded the far tip down. Instead of cutting it off and using it for stir fry or something like that, I just turned it over, and it turned out excellent. We're still going to be trimming off some fat here. The pile of fat that we ended up with there, you could have used that for grinding it up. You've got a grinder and make hamburger out of it. I tossed it out here in the yard, and literally I had the cats from the whole neighborhood came over here and just tore into it. I mean, it didn't last 10 minutes out there in the yard. The big piece I've got in my hand now is the one that I ended up trimming, cutting that fat off of it, and I cut that into like 1/2 to 1 inch cubes, and I put that in a frying pan after I seasoned it up with the same seasoning that I'm going to use here. I seasoned it up, put it in a cast iron skillet, and just seared it really quick. Took like 2 or 3 minutes to cook it, and it was amazing. I just sat and nibbled on it for the whole time we were cooking. It didn't last long. My brother got a piece. I think Josh got a couple of pieces, and I ate the rest. You snooze, you lose, folks. You should have grabbed it faster. Like I said, you see that most of this just pulls off on its own. But what I want is a good, nice, red piece of meat. Nice and lean. Cut this little bit of fat off here. It's not really a silver skin as much there as it is just kind of a, I guess that's what it is, silver skin. It's kind of waxy feeling. You'll know when you see it. But if you've noticed, I've tucked it and got it pretty clean looking. And I'm going to put it on my rack and get it ready. I've got to put my seasoning together here in a few minutes, and I'll go over that. We just kind of tried stuff that we knew that we liked, and it, like I said, it turned out awesome. And it's not a real difficult recipe by no means. A little bit of stuff I could have cut out, wiping my hands down. And this is a new one. We're not going to do this all the time. This happened to be, like I said, this was so choppy that I didn't have a choice but to do it this way. Because we were talking, and like I said, I turned on the camera and it was about the end of it. We didn't do anything as far as telling you what we were doing, or we just filmed it. So what I'm doing here is I'm going to put together some spices. And the spices that I used for this rub that I put on it is 2 tablespoons of salt, 1 tablespoon of pepper, 1 teaspoon of celery seed, 1 teaspoon of thyme, 1 teaspoon of smoked paprika, 1 teaspoon of Saison Tropical. I love that stuff. You can use the regular Saison if you don't have the tropical. You can buy that just about anywhere. I got mine at Kroger's, I believe. The tropical I got at GFS. A tablespoon of garlic powder and 1 teaspoon of parsley. This was the dried parsley in the seasoning pack. It wasn't fresh stuff. And there's what it looks like as we season it. Josh is nitpicking. We managed to get all the sides covered. This seasoning adds a ton of flavor to this piece of meat. I don't know what it would have tasted like without the seasoning on it. I would imagine very beefy. But this seasoning just, it was unbelievable. I mean, it turned out perfect for a piece of pork tenderloin, or beef tenderloin. I keep wanting to say pork because I've never cooked a beef before. We're finished seasoning it up here. You don't have to go super heavy. It sucked it in like there was no tomorrow. I mean, as soon as we put it on, just the moisture in the meat alone. We didn't use any mustard. We didn't use any, normally we would use Worcestershire sauce. We didn't use any of that this time. We did on the brisket, but not on this. Trying to get her situated on the rack here. We got to finish this one side. Josh is afraid he's not going to use all our seasonings, I guess. But we seasoned her up pretty good. I mean, we didn't go crazy, but we did use everything we had. If you notice, see how the top of the meat has already sucked that seasoning into it? So we went in and seasoned the top of it again and ended up using the rest of it. And by the time we got out to the smoker with it, it had done sucked that into the meat, and like I said, it seasoned it all the way through. And get her situated back up here, and we'll use the last of the seasoning. And get her mashed up the way I want it, and get it ready to go to the smoker. This is normal for me and Josh. We find pieces of meat we want to cook up, and we end up getting it, and we just take our time and play around with it and see what we can come up with. And you'll notice here in a little while his mom's here, my brother's here. You know, we just got a whole party going. All right, let's get her.
Oh, this thing?
It's on me, boss.
I put me a water pan there.
That's big boy Josh.
Does this switch around?
Yeah.
It's on us.
There we are before we head out
I
to
don't know if you can see that or not, but
Smoker. See how I
that
already
thing
sucked
is
it in.
$295. It's set for $300. Not a lot of smoke. Good and even smoke. We're going to turn it back down here. And this thing has got a box that will hold 40 pounds of pellets. Oh, can't really see down in there. But got a nice handle on it. It's on wheels. It takes about 45 minutes to put it together. I got my probe here on the side I got for Christmas. I love this thing. Let's see that. Says it's at 126.
My brother gave me that probe. It's
Or not
awesome.
pork tenderloin, beef tenderloin. It'll be coming off here at 130. We'll be back.
You got voiceover?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, damn.
We pulled it at 130. We probably should have waited to 135, 140. It was a little rawer than we liked. It was a little more rare, but it did turn out awesome.
Got a nice pre-smoke look to it.
Let me get a picture before you cut it. That's what they make filet mignons out of. I didn't know this, so watching Facebook hole, I guess.
What y'all about medium rare?
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully it's about medium.
What's about rare on the end there?
Maybe. Well, that's smoke.
Oh,
Let's see.
oh, ain't that pretty?
Ooh, come here and look at this.
I can see
Look at the smoke ring.
Doesn't take much to excite us.
Oh my Jesus.
Oh, wow.
pretty piece of meat there. Oh, I can't eat that much. I'll take a little teeny piece and you take the rest. I don't trust my stomach today. Oh, that's good.
Oh, man. That flavor is on point.
Mm-hmm.
That's my burger seasoning.
Keep that. Keep that one.
Wow.
Oh my God, it's good.
I say burger seasoning. It had some other stuff added to it too, but it's pretty close to my burger seasoning. Smash burgers with this stuff. Oh wow, you just can't beat it. But that's a good looking piece of meat. Like I said, we probably could have went a little further with it, but what I did is after we cut it, it cools down really quick. It's like prime rib. It gets cold really quick. So what I did is I took a slice of it and heated me up a cast iron skillet to about 400 degrees. Dropped that thing in there for about 30 seconds to 45 seconds on each side. Pulled that thing out and it was amazing. I have no idea where I'm going to tell you what I'm doing here. We had fixed a brisket the day before. It was actually for Christmas, a couple days before. And I had one piece left. And Josh's stepdad, I'm actually giving Josh's mom some coleslaw that we bought. And I hate to say it, GFS, your coleslaw sucks. I doctored it up and it was really good, but it was way too much for me to eat, so I gave it away. But I'm going to take a couple pieces here and put it in I was going to put it on top of that brisket, and I changed my mind because it's ice cold. It's been in the refrigerator. There's my kitty cat, Miss Piggy. And of course, I got to get another mouthful. I'm going to put them in some to-go boxes. I buy these to-go boxes over at GFS is like $8 for like 100 of them. So I'm gonna put the brisket in there and a couple of pieces of this. Mom wants the end piece. Well, we're gonna put this together for her and her husband Todd, another truck driver, of course. And then I'm gonna cut Mom off a little piece of the corner here. She had an upset stomach, but she still managed to eat, you know, a couple good pieces there. But that thing, like I said, it was amazing. It was still hot. I'm gonna push her back together here and cover it back up, and that'll be the end of that, because we ended up yakking for quite some time, and not something that I'm sure you all want to sit and listen to. So that's how we did our pork tenderloin. And I tell you, we ended up with 11 pieces, 1 inch, about 1 1/4 inch pieces. It was amazing. I mean, I'm not, like I said, I don't bullshit you. It was good. So give her a shot and see what you think. So till next time, folks, I'm BullDawg, and I say see ya.